to some of the roles which are a little bit non-technical, like the product, like business analyst and project management, QA tester, and so on. Now, each of these areas are huge in themselves, and there's a lot of potential in all of them. So it's okay to pick any one of them. You may want to, I've seen some of the people who joined back, they may have started their career as a developer, but they want to move into things like project management or business analyst, and which is fine. I see the other way around as well. So either should be fine. Moving forward, so coming back to a workplace after taking a break is going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be very different. You may be on the top of your game, you may be an expert, but when you start again, you will have to start things from the down bottom, from scratch, and you should be mentally prepared for it. I don't intend to scare you by this, but it's just a reality. And my firm as well, we do return to work program. And when we get people back after break, we put them through an internship program so that they can slowly absorb the change and get more used to working in a corporate environment. It's all about keeping yourself mentally prepared and also the organization absorbing this cost. Okay, so let's talk about how to get into your new job. And the obvious answer is you need to prepare for it. So assuming you have selected an area for yourself, and you can, the first thing you can do is just refresh your concepts, and you can do it either by going through your learnings, or you can take a refresher course. Now, on the slides are listed some of the sites which provide these online trainings, and most of them are free, and they offer courses from introductory to academic, and some of the courses are really good. So my suggestion is that if you're interested in a technology or in a particular skill, it's better to equip yourself with some courses, and these courses are really lightweight. You can take it in over a period of time. You can stagger, you can set the pace as you require. So this is relatively easy, something very easy to do it. For those who are looking to join back as a developer, as a technologist, the best thing is to practice what you have learned so far. So the courses will give you theoretical knowledge, but as you know, it's not enough because the interviews would be grilling more on the design, how to apply those theoretical knowledge. So it's best to get some practice into coding. I've just written Hello World program in the 4 languages I know, and I've taken just print out shots of these IDs just to demonstrate that you can start with something as basic as Hello World to something really bigger. But the key thing is do start coding for those who do want to get back into a technology role. One of the issues that we often find with the candidates are, and this is true for the new joiners as well, that they do not have experience, and they do not have experience because they have not worked previously. So it's like a chicken and egg situation. So unless you work, you will not get experience. But if you do not have experience, you'll not get work. So what are some of the things we can do? So one of the ideas is to contribute to open source development. So I've given some examples of open source projects that are going on, and you can contribute into them by various ways. You can provide some code to add new features. You can even do their documentation. You can do testing, bug fixes. You can design their GUI, their logo. You can do localization and so forth. There are various advantages of getting into this community. First, it gives you experience because you will be working with developers across the globe. You will get to see some of the best coding practices. You will learn by looking at what other people are doing. Second is that you will make friends with that community who can help you refer a job. So that way it's a good way to build connections. And the third is it will give you brownie points. You can add it to your resume. As a hiring manager, when we are screening candidates and making choices in terms of whom to call for an interview or not, We also look at experience beyond their day-to-day. So those who have contributed into open source community or have done conferences or published papers, they do get extra points for doing it. So just going a little bit more detail into some of the open sources, and you can search actually on the net, and there will be hundreds of them. But for example, Eclipse Tree is, you may be familiar with the Eclipse IDE for development. This is Eclipse version um, for developers, uh, which is integrated with the cloud workspace. Similarly, Atom is a text editor, and GNU Cache is a money management system. And Kodi, you probably know this already, is a open source media player. So these are some of the options wherein you can do something without any bottlenecks. I mean, you don't need to apply, you can just contribute directly through various ways. Um, Now, technology is a changing world and things change rapidly, and we all need to keep up to date. And one of the ways of keeping up to date is by reading technical blogs. Now, some of the sites I've listed, these are the ones that I go through. There could be hundreds of other sites. It's good to know what's going on. It may not be limited to your skill set, but it could be like generically what are the most trending technologies, and then you can look at how these technologies can impact your world and so forth. Moving on, so reading is all good, but you could also apply reading by contributing to some of the open forums. So forums like Stack Overflow, Stack Exchange, and developer.com are these forums where people raise questions and they get answered by the community. And they range from the various categories. I mean, they could be technology-wise categories, they could be application-wide categories, could be questions on algorithms, data structures, to questions on project management, and so forth. um, it helps to plug in and to go through the question answers and try to answer, because A, it improves your knowledge, and B, again, going same point as I talked about the open source development model, wherein if you contribute, you get noticed, and hiring managers do look at those things while screening candidates and making calls to them. And obviously it improves your knowledge. And again, it's fairly easy to get into it. I mean, these sites are all free. You may have already been visiting them and contributing them, and all you need to do is spend some time going through the questions, finding out which ones you know, or asking questions, and just helping out, and in turn getting benefited from them. Okay, last but not the least, networking, which is really important. Now, I know some of us may think networking is not really a good thing to do, but it's more like building relationships, because if you're out from the market and you want to come back, you would need help. So you can tap into recruiters, you can apply directly. But if you have a friend circle, if you know your old colleagues well, they can help you get a launching pad. So how does one go about networking? Some of the simple things will be get in touch with old colleagues and see if they can find a job in your previous organization, or if they have contacts anywhere else. Obviously, update your profile on LinkedIn, which is kind of these days considered as the golden source for all hiring. Attend conferences and seminars. Again, these are some things which you can attend to network. For example, Grace Hopper is one of the largest meet of women technologists. It happens annually in Bangalore. I have been attending Grace Hopper for the last many years. And the things I like about that conference is, A, I get to meet with a lot of like-minded people. And second part is they also have sessions on technology. So I attend those sessions, and they're very useful. So, so conferences and seminars are a great way to keep yourself current, make network, and also get benefited out of it. You may also want to, if you are not fully ready to go out to work, you may also want to look at something part-time, um, or you may just want to look at volunteering opportunities just to hone your tech skills so that when you actually apply, you are more confident of getting through. Um, okay, lastly, stay positive. E- Everything, all the things that we talk about, they cannot be achieved overnight. They are going to take time. You need to be patient. Maybe set yourself some goals. Try to do one thing a day or one thing a week, like read few technical blocks a week. Then next week, maybe write some code or things like that. Don't get overwhelmed by the amount of information, knowledge floating around. Um, Define your priorities, find out what is important to you, and just be flexible and open minded. If you go out and ask for a job, it may not be exactly the same as what you were working on previously. So stay away from comparison in that case, because it's a new innings for you. So everything that you do would be starting afresh. And be positive. It takes time, and slowly and steadily you will make it where you want to be. But it's important that you stay positive and don't get overwhelmed by all that is happening around you. And here's wishing you good luck. I hope you all do well in your career. And lastly, I want to, Gayatri covered it, I think, previously as well, but there is this roadshow on 16th, which is this Saturday. We're doing a speed mentoring session. It will be nice if some of you or most of you can make it to that session at 11 o'clock on Saturday. Yeah. So with that, I would hand it over back to Gayatri.
So we are open up for the question and answer session. If you have any questions, please unmute your line and you can ask a question, or you can leave your questions in the chat window and I can read it out. So Snigdha, when you were talking about open sources, or forums, how can they, volunteer for it? Like, is there something, a way to connect with them?
Yeah. So if you just Google open source software,
Mm-hmm.
it will you will come across sites that list down all the open source software communities. So if I just give an example of Eclipse G,
Mm-hmm.
if you go onto the website, they would have a login process, which you have to just put your credentials and log in, and then you can see that what all is happening. So the fact it's open source means everything is available online. You can see the code base. You can see who all are making changes into the code. They have a GitHub repository where all the code is put, and they would have a list of enhancement or requirements that are being put forward. So you can raise your hand that, okay, I want to take this up, and no one is going to stop you. But the only thing is, when you're working in open source, be cognizant there are multiple people working on it. So if you write a piece of code, it will get reviewed, it will get tested, it may get rejected as well if it's not meeting the standards. So that is how you contribute while coding. But then I would suggest that as a newbie, don't start with coding. Start with doing something like testing. So you can take a piece of feature to test. So you can download that software, run it, install it on your home machine, and you can start using it and start testing it. And then if you find a bug, you can write description of the bug and upload it. So that way you'll get familiar with the functionality and also the code behind it. Or you can do even more simple, just a documentation part that, okay, this is a software, how does one use it? So once you Kathy, there's no real procedure here. It's up to you how you want to do, and everything is open. It's just that there are too many gatekeepers. Like whatever you do will get reviewed by a community. So being an open source, they do have strict rules in terms of regulation of what can go in and what can go out. It's kind of like Wikipedia where people can write, but then there are reviewers who actually review and have the ability to remove your content or approve it.
Got it. So once say that they have reviewed the content and approved it, and it works for them, but will the person get a certificate or something like that to show that they have worked with them?
So different groups vary differently. I know someone in my organization. She used to work. She has contributed to Red Hat Linux, and she got a certification. In fact, she got invited to a conference they had in California, and so they do recognize your efforts and accordingly give benefits. But regardless, even if you do not get a certificate, you can still put in your resume that you have contributed to open source. You can put your GitHub handle, and that's good enough. And then someone who wants to see whether you have actually done it can go to that site and validate.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we have a question from Kalpana who says, my question is realistically, are there any part-time roles in project management or business analysis in the job market?
Okay, I would think so. Okay, so if I just look at my organization, the business analysts and the project managers, they are full time. But in technology, I do see people working part time, like 3 days a week, or working one day at work and rest of the day working from home. I see no reason why a business analyst or a project management role cannot be part time if core technology roles could be.
Any other questions, ladies? You can unmute your line and ask your question.
Hi, Snigdha.
Hi.
Hi, this is Partha. It was so soothing listening to you. I am not a techie person at all, but when I just joined the webinar, I didn't feel like leaving it. I'm totally from a background, like I have done my biotechnology research and all. But what came to my mind when you were talking, actually, I have a sister and she did her PhD in English. And what
Mm-hmm.
she did was, we are SMEs, okay? So, like, she used the SMEs words and
Yeah.
coded it into, she used some codes, okay? That's how you can, like, if I type in a Hindi word and I want to get a translation to say any of the language, you can do it, right? So
Right.
what I basically want is, I am zero, in a zero level. I know nothing about. There's someone unmuted, I'm sure. Yeah, is it
Okay.
clear now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
better.
what I wanted, like, from for a person like me who is not much into this technical world, except that we are the end users. So anything is there for us, like maybe EDX or any online courses where we can at least get some beginner information,
Yeah. So
not
I mean,
much.
if yeah, so if you're not a technologist, I mean the areas that you could look for yourself if you want to get into this area would be business analyst or project management. I mean, project management just needs organization skills, which most women have better than men, and attention
Okay.
to detail. Now,
Mm,
there are courses, and there are also certifications. So there are
okay.
certifications like Six Sigma and PMI, and so over there, there's a written exam you clear, you get a certificate, and most project managers,
It's not
PMOs,
because I have
have.
a yellow belt certification for Six Sigma.
Okay, cool.
Like,
So, okay, so you already know all this then.
yeah,
Okay,
very, very beginner level,
yeah, so you
That's.
can then go further. I mean,
Hmm.
I am not a karate fan and I'm not a project management, but I know this like green belt and
Yeah,
whatnot
yeah.
color over there, right? So you can further do those certifications. Um, and they would be online courses. So, for example, Agile. Agile is a methodology that is being used globally. You may have heard of
Right.
it as well.
Yeah, I have heard it.
Okay, project managers do use Agile, and it's just a software development life cycle, and there will be tons of courses on Agile or design
Mm-hmm.
thinking. So those are things that may be applicable to your area, and some of these sites will have courses on them.
Right. It doesn't require to have a prerequisite for a BTech in computers or something like that.
No, no. It doesn't. So the beauty of all these online courses is that they tailor to a wide range of people, right from beginners to newbies to experts. So you'd have to just pick a one which is like simpler to start with, and then you can go step by step.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let me explore a bit on this. Thank you
Sure,
so much.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question from Manashri who says, I took break after 10 years of service with IT.NET. Now I'm upgradation to my skill set with Azure technology. So how do I approach to new career set?
Okay, so if you were into Windows.NET and C Sharp, right? Those technologies are pretty much here. If you want to get into it, you can advance yourself by WPF, and these days, generically, more applications are moving towards AngularJS, HTML5. So those could be the sister technologies that you want to gain knowledge of before you apply. Does that answer your question?
Manashri, you can unmute your line.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Manashri.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. I want to just turn to my one other technology as Azure. It's because
Mhm.
now it's a cloud development is more
Yes.
advanced technology. So I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
move towards it. So how do I actually currently I'm doing certifications with Microsoft Azure, right?
right.
Development means I'm planning. So with that certifications, how they able to get the job opportunity? Means, can you suggest?
Okay, so you want to go into cloud computing and
Yeah,
correct, and the Microsoft Azure certification is the right
yeah,
way actually to proceed because
yeah.
their
I already.
certifications are, are considered good. Now, so certification demonstrates that you have theoretical working knowledge, but you can supplement that by having some practical knowledge as well.
Yeah, right,
And
right.
that could be gaining some hands-on experience
Yeah,
into it. Yeah,
but I need to have some experience because that will be the freshers in my Azure technology, right? With
yeah,
cloud
yeah.
technology. So my skill will be new skill means it will be freshers will be considered, right?
See, in that technology, you're a fresher, but you have enough experience in some other technology, so that will not get discounted. And
Yeah, how
ultimately,
they
okay,
that
so
practical knowledge cloud.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so okay, so what you should do is, how do you get some practical knowledge on cloud computing, right? And maybe
Yeah,
not just restrict to Azure, just take cloud computing in general. So
right, right.
again, I'm a big fan of actually open source development. Um,
Okay.
this particular project, Eclipse Tree, and you may
Yeah,
have heard of Eclipse IDE, right? So
yeah,
this
that
uses
I
cloud
yeah.
behind the scene. So your code doesn't have to be on your desktop; it could be on cloud. So
Okay.
you could actually maybe contribute or maybe take a look to see. And also you can search for other open source projects that are using cloud and specifically using Azure. So
Okay.
that will give you some working knowledge of cloud
Right.
computing, right? Second
Right.
thing, right, when you're going for interviews, you can clearly say that you worked on .NET and now you want to move to this because that's your new interest.
Yeah. Right.
And it's okay to join as a fresher because you have
Yeah.
experience in some other technology. And people switch technologies while they're working as well. So that doesn't mean that they
Right.
become like a beginner, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and because you have a knowledge of a previous technology, you'll pick up
Yeah.
things fast. So you
Yeah.
can be clear in your interviews to say that you're keen to work on this technology, but then your resume should carry few points which demonstrate your interest,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So make your resume stronger that it clearly shows that you are someone who's interested in cloud computing. Read some
Yes.
technical blogs on cloud computing, maybe
Yes.
contribute something somewhere so that it reflects on your resume. Your interest reflects on your resume strongly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The next
Hi,
question.
Snigdha. This is Brahada here.
Hey, yeah.
Is it
Hello.
audible?
Hello.
Yes, Prahada, go
Hello,
ahead.
Hi.
is it audible?
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Actually, Snigdha, I have a common question. It's like, there are so many women who might have worked previously into a technical part, especially into shift basis work. So, due to personal reason like marriage or after this, child or something, they will not be able to continue with the shift based work. So for me also it has happened the same way. It was just 6 months break after my marriage,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm yet to have my child, but that is different. I just want to get into an environment where there is no shift. So my previous role, it is like it was into IT operations, then it was into incident management, and then it was into technical part.
Mm-hmm.
But now, right now, I am searching for a part where it is in. If I'm just searching with the last, technical part,
Mm-hmm.
mostly I'm getting an US based opportunity only. So, but still, I
Mm-hmm.
have some good knowledge in incident management and IT operations lead. I can lead a team where IT operations is happening. So do you have any good suggestion like where people have worked and shift in the past who will be able to shift into one day job, after this break?
Okay, so um, yeah, I've seen some cases, not that many though, but I've seen some cases. So your
Okay.
role, previous role as operations manager, or was it production management, or
It
was
is
it
like
just operation?
it is technical part, so it is something like a backup administration. So taking care of backup of the service.
Okay,
Um, so it's almost like Windows, Linux, right? Supporting those
yeah,
technical teams.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So
But
if it
I
is,
have a
yeah,
knowledge in this incident management and IT operations lead as well. So, but I
mm-hmm.
couldn't get any opportunities based on that. I can see so many opportunities, but I'm not getting that. So I'm applying, but I don't know why it is lagging, where it is lagging, and there is a break.
Okay,
Also, I
so
would like to know about this testing also. I have heard a number of people saying that even you doesn't have much experience in the testing. For manual testing, they says that you doesn't need much experience and it is enough to have a good knowledge in that. So don't we need any certification? ISB, QC, some certification is there, right? So is it must to have that certification or is it enough to prepare ourselves?
okay. So let me, you've asked three questions. Let me just write it down. So I'll
Okay.
start with the last one first. So if you're getting into a role of QA, quality assurance and testing,
Mm-hmm.
then um, a certification does help. So, but even if you do not have certification, since you have past experience in technology and in operations management, you 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 can actually go into this area without any certification, because unless you're going into automation for
Mm-hmm.
manual testing, it's really the knowledge that counts. So
Okay.
certification helps for those who are starting afresh, completely from scratch, like
Mm-hmm.
out of college. But
Okay.
for other people, it doesn't. It's not really a must unless you want to go into automation, where you're automating the manual testing activities. That will be a
Okay.
separate field, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to apply for tester role, then you could be really upfront about it, and mention it in your resume that you do not have experience in that area, but you have
Mhm.
experience in these technologies and you want to move on to this role.
Okay.
And it should not be a hurdle in at least getting a call for interview. Now,
Mhm.
some of
Okay.
the roles are front office user facing, where people work in shifts. Like, for example, if you're facing off operations and they are based out of US, then
Mhm.
there may be a need for people to be available during that hours. But a pure technology role, like you said, you were helping the backend support for network and databases and so forth. That should not be US or shift specific. That sounds more like a common day-to-day job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when so you said you applied, but you're not getting a response, or whenever you get a response, it's mostly from the US based companies
Yeah.
or for yeah. Okay. So
Why?
and
Because
do
is
you
that for specific to the backup technologies, the thing is
yeah,
only in a very big enterprise we are having backup and storage. But if you
correct.
notice in small enterprise, only the Windows and Unix team itself will take care of the backup and storage. So they will not have any separate role for backup team. So already the opportunity seems to be very less. In that small number of opportunities, if we need to get non-shift based, and I can see that so many freshers and guys, right? They are ready to do a
Mhm.
flexible timing, right? So that's when we are lagging in getting the opportunities. So that's one of my biggest concern. So that is the reason I thought of shifting to the previous role. I mean, in which previously I was working, or something into some. If I need to take a different role, the thing is, I'll not be able to have that much confidence, or I'll be a little bit afraid to get into a new role. So we are having some different portals, right, to get trained
Mhm.
on technologies or anything
Mhm.
like, I mean, example testing. So we have good
Right.
portals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 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 See, okay, I agree that if you have limited options and you have constraints, then you face a lot of competition, and then chances of getting through minimizes.
Yeah.
So you're already self-aware in terms of what your options are on table. And the wiser decision could be to switch tracks and find something for which you have a passion and you can do well. If you do not have enough background in that area, then you can spend some time gaining knowledge of it.
Okay.
I know
And
QA and
sorry for the interruption, Nikta. You were saying some Eclipse itchy, some portals, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
are those portals which was displaying in this video, are they for learning portals like Allison?
Okay, so Eclipse J is actually open source project. So this is where you can contribute. You can browse through the code as well to learn, but it's not really a learning portal. A learning
Okay.
portal could be like a Pluralsight or Lynda or Coursera kind of things, where you
Okay.
can see what courses are available in QA. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
QA testing is a space where there is a lot of need because it's an important area. And over there, you may even get something part-time to begin with. See,
Mm-hmm.
if an area interests you, right, you can start with something very basic. You can compromise on maybe compensation and other things just to get a
Mm-hmm.
foot in it. And once you
Okay.
have some confidence, you can make more demands
Mm-hmm. Okay.
if that works for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Just be more flexible and open-minded in this case because you know what your limitations are.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Snigdha, can we just move on to the next question by Shweta? Uh,
Sure.
Shweta says, I was previously working on PHP, but now want to change my profile and want to do data science. So my question is, if I do it online, what are the chances of getting hired?
Okay, so data sciences is something everyone wants to do it. It's a very hot field, and it's interesting as well. Now, again, the same thing. Data sciences. So there are two parts of it. One is the data science modeling, and the other is the data science engineering, where you come up with tools like Hadoop, etc., which can help you in modeling. Um, you can take courses and you can do something of your own to get experience, but just again, it's one of the fields where if you do not have enough exposure, especially on the sciences bit, then it's hard to get into it. Most people who are beginners into this data sciences field, I do see them more doing testing rather than actually creating a new model. They're playing with the data set, but not really creating a new model. But that can give them experience to go into later. So transition from PHP to data science, it's actually a very big leap because those are totally two different areas. But if you want to do it, then do your courses, do some project of your own. There's so much literature on data sciences on the internet. There's so many projects floating on. Contribute to them, and that could help you get get like a role in that area, but probably from the beginner level only. Yeah, thank you, Gayatri, for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. And it was really nice interacting with all of you. And maybe just one word of advice. A lot of you want to get into the field of QA, automation, testing. It would be good if you all can connect offline and share some tips and tricks with yourself and form a community to help each other. Some of you already have experience in this area, so that will be good.
Yeah, that is a good point. Also, Snigdha will be a part of the roadshow happening in Mumbai this Saturday. So, if you haven't registered for it and you are willing to attend the roadshow, please log on to our JFH portal and go to the event page to register yourself for the R3 roadshow. You will have speed mentoring zones, face-to-face mentoring time with the mentors available there, and we also have workshops for reskilling, so please make it and do not miss it. If you need more updates on Jobs for Her portal, follow us on Facebook and Twitter pages. Also visit our reskilling page on our portal to upskill yourself and get services like resume writing and career counseling. Thank you everyone, it was a wonderful session. Thanks for attending.